The damage is still raw at the Stadium of Light, and it goes far beyond the 5-0 scoreline. This wasn't just a heavy defeat, it felt like a collapse in identity. What unfolded against Nottingham Forest FC wasn't simply a bad day, it exposed deeper structural issues within Régis Lebris' Sunderland side. The 6-minute spell before half-time told the story. A chaotic own goal opened the floodgates, followed by 3 more in quick succession. The defensive shape fell apart under pressure. This wasn't Premier League intensity, it was panic. The reaction in the stands said just as much. Boos rang out before the break in a ground that has largely backed the rebuild. For the first time, it didn't just feel like a team losing it felt like a team losing its way. Officially, the messaging remains measured. Fabrizio Romano has indicated that Lebris is safe for now, a phrase that, in football terms, often suggests anything but long-term security. Behind the scenes, however, things appear less settled. Reports suggest Kirill Louis-Dreyfus has already begun exploring alternative options, pointing to possible uncertainty at board level. That's where the real tension lies. Public calm versus private concern. This was Sunderland's heaviest defeat since returning to the top flight, and it has clearly rattled confidence. When a side built on structure and discipline concedes 4 goals in a matter of minutes, it stops looking like a one-off and starts raising bigger questions. That's where the situation begins to shift. Thomas Frank has emerged as a leading name under consideration. The 52-year-old is attracting attention not just because of availability, but because of timing and reputation. His recent departure from Tottenham Hotspur has, in some ways, enhanced his standing. Spurs' struggles since then have cast his time there in a more favourable light. For Louis-Dreyfus, who is known to admire Frank's tactical clarity and long-term approach, this wouldn't be a reactive appointment. It would be a strategic one. The thinking is straightforward. Replace uncertainty with a manager whose methods are already proven at a high level. But it's not that simple. Frank won't be short of options, and Sunderland won't have a clear run at him. Celtic are monitoring the situation, and other Premier League clubs are expected to enter the market this summer. His recent appearances back in England, attending matches and reconnecting with the game here, have only added to the speculation. For Sunderland, it becomes a question of how competitive their project really is. To land a manager of that calibre, they'll need more than intent. They'll need to present a clear pathway, one that includes ambition, investment, and a realistic route towards European competition. Meanwhile, Lebris finds himself under increasing pressure. His post-match comments were honest, but revealing. He described the defeat as a punch in the face, acknowledged the pain, but stopped short of apologising, instead calling for pride and resilience. The issue is that resilience alone doesn't meet Premier League standards. Competing in the second half, as he pointed out, is expected, not a redeeming quality. The bigger question now is whether the stability once associated with his tenure still holds after such a visible breakdown. In elite football, perception shifts quickly. Once doubt creeps into both the dressing room and the stands, restoring authority becomes far more difficult. So Sunderland find themselves at a crossroads. This is no longer just about one result, it's about direction. Is Thomas Frank the right figure to push the club towards the European ambitions Louis-Dreyfus has in mind? Or would moving on from Lebris now risk undoing the very foundations the club has worked to build? The answer won't just determine the next manager, it will shape the next chapter of Sunderland's future.